Chapter 1. A Dream Begins. In the heart of New York City, during the early 20th century, lived a young boy named Janas Salk. Jonas was not like other children. While many spent their days playing in the bustling streets, Jonas had a different kind of passion. He was deeply fascinated by science and the mysteries of the human body. His curiosity was boundless, and his dreams were as vast as the sky above. Jonas grew up in a time when the world was haunted by a terrifying disease called polio. Polio was a ruthless enemy that struck without warning, leaving children unable to walk, and in many cases, it took away their ability to breathe on their own. The fear of polio was palpable, a shadow that loomed over every family, every community. As Jonas matured into a young man, his passion for science turned into a mission. He had seen the devastation caused by polio firsthand and felt a deep, compelling urge to fight back against this invisible foe. Jonas believed that there must be a way to protect people from polio, to prevent the disease from causing so much pain and suffering. And so, with a heart full of hope and a mind eager to learn, Jonas set off on a journey that would change the course of history. Jonas's path led him to the University of New York, where he delved into the study of medical science. He was an exceptional student, driven by his unwavering determination to make a difference in the world. Jonas spent countless hours in the library, poring over books and journals, absorbing every piece of knowledge he could find about diseases and how to combat them. His professors were impressed by his dedication and often found him in the laboratory long after classes had ended, experimenting and searching for answers. The more Jonas learned, the more convinced he became that it was possible to create a vaccine against polio. Vaccines were not a new idea. They had been used to prevent other diseases, but polio was a formidable adversary. Many scientists had tried and failed to develop a polio vaccine, but Jonas was not deterred by their failures. Instead, he saw them as stepping stones, lessons that would guide him on his own quest. After completing his studies, Jonas joined a research team dedicated to finding a cure for polio. The team was made up of brilliant minds, each bringing their own expertise and insights to the project. Jonas felt a sense of camaraderie with his fellow researchers, united by a common goal that was larger than any individual ambition. The work was challenging and often frustrating. The team faced numerous setbacks as experiments failed to produce the results they hoped for. But Jonas remained steadfast in his belief that a breakthrough was possible. He encouraged his colleagues to persevere, reminding them of the importance of their work and the millions of lives that could be saved if they succeeded. After years of tireless research, Jonas and his team made a groundbreaking discovery. They developed a vaccine that showed promise in preventing polio. The excitement within the team was palpable, but Jonas knew that this was just the beginning. The vaccine needed to be tested on a large scale to prove its effectiveness and safety. The testing phase was a time of high tension and high stakes. Jonas closely monitored the trials, analyzing the data with meticulous care. The world watched with bated breath as the results came in. And then, the moment of truth arrived. The vaccine was a success. It was safe, effective, and had the potential to eradicate polio from the face of the earth. The news of the vaccine's success spread like wildfire. Janas salk became a hero overnight, celebrated by people from all walks of life. But for Jonas, the true reward was knowing that his dream had been realized. His vision of a world free from the fear of polio was no longer a distant hope, but a tangible reality. Janas Salk's journey from a curious boy in New York to the scientist who developed the first successful polio vaccine is a testament to the power of determination, innovation, and compassion. His story inspires us to believe in the possibility of change and to pursue our dreams with courage and conviction. As we reflect on Jonas's legacy, we are reminded that the greatest achievements often begin with a simple dream and the courage to chase it, no matter the obstacles. Janas Salk did not set out to gain fame or fortune. He was driven by a desire to alleviate suffering and make the world a better place. And in doing so, he showed us that one person's dream can indeed change the world. Chapter 2. The Enemy Unveiled. In a world full of hope and dreams, a silent enemy lurked, hidden but ever present, striking fear into the hearts of families across the globe. This enemy was polio, a disease that showed no mercy to its victims, most of whom were innocent children. The battle against polio was not just a scientific challenge. It was a fight to protect the joy and future of countless young lives. Polio, known for its cruelty in attacking the nervous system, could transform a child's laughter into tears and dreams, into nightmares overnight. It was an invisible invader that could enter a home without warning, leaving despair in its wake. The disease could cause paralysis, making it impossible for those affected to walk or even stand. For some, polio meant a lifetime of dependency on others, while for the less fortunate, it was a death sentence. Families lived in constant fear during the polio epidemics that swept through towns and cities, especially during the warm summer months when the disease seemed to be most rampant. Public places that once echoed with the sounds of children playing were abandoned, as parents did everything in their power to shield their loved ones from harm. Swimming pools were emptied, playgrounds were deserted, and schools became ghostly quiet, all in an effort to escape the clutches of polio. Amid this atmosphere of dread, Janas Salk entered the scene, a beacon of hope in a time of darkness. His mission was clear: to find a weapon that could vanquish this formidable foe once and for all. Salk understood the magnitude of the challenge ahead of him. Polio was not just a medical puzzle to be solved. It was a test of humanity's will to fight, to persevere, and to triumph over adversity. Salk's quest was not a solitary journey. Around him, the world clamored for a solution. Parents prayed for the safety of their children. Doctors and nurses worked tirelessly to care for the afflicted, and communities came together to support one another. The fight against polio united people from all walks of life, each playing a part in the battle for a brighter, healthier future. The road to developing the polio vaccine was fraught with obstacles. Scientific research, especially in the mid-20th century, was a painstakingly slow process, requiring not just intellect and innovation, but also patience and persistence. Each experiment carried the weight of millions of hopes, and each setback was a reminder of the urgency of Salk's mission. Yet, amidst the challenges, there were moments of breakthrough and discovery that propelled Salk and his team forward. They learned from every failure, drawing closer to their goal with each step. The science behind the polio vaccine was complex, involving intricate knowledge of the virus and the human immune system. Salk's approach was revolutionary, based on the idea that a killed virus could still trigger the body's defenses without causing the disease itself. As Salk delved deeper into his research, the world waited with bated breath. The stakes were high and the pressure was immense. But Salk was driven by a force stronger than fear or doubt: compassion. He saw the faces of polio's victims not just as patients, but as children with dreams, families with love to give, and communities with futures to build. The development of the polio vaccine was more than a scientific achievement. It was a victory of human spirit over despair. It demonstrated that even the most daunting challenges could be overcome with determination and unity. Janas Salk's journey was a testament to the power of one man's vision to change the world, offering a glimmer of hope in the darkest of times. As the story of Janas Salk's battle against polio unfolds, we are reminded of the resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity. His legacy teaches us that with courage, dedication, and compassion, even the greatest of enemies can be unveiled and defeated. The fight against polio was not just a chapter in medical history, it was a story of human triumph, a beacon of light for generations to come. Chapter 3: The Laboratory's Call. In the bustling heart of Pittsburgh, a city known for its steel, a different kind of forge was at work, one that shaped the future of medicine. This was the place where Janas Salk, a young and ambitious scientist, found his calling. It was here, within the walls of the University of Pittsburgh's research laboratory, that Salk joined a team of researchers dedicated to a singular, noble quest: to develop a vaccine against polio, the invisible enemy that had cast a shadow over the world. The laboratory was a world unto itself, a realm of endless possibilities and profound challenges. Shelves lined with bottles of chemicals, rows of microscopes, and the constant hum of equipment created a symphony of scientific endeavor. For Salk, this was not just a workplace, but a battlefield, where the fight against polio would be waged with pipettes and petri dishes instead of swords and shields. Salk and his team were a diverse group, each member bringing their unique skills and knowledge to the table. There were virologists, experts in the study of viruses, immunologists, who understood the complexities of the immune system, and biochemists, who could unravel the chemical mysteries of life itself. Together they formed a formidable force, united by a shared mission to save the world from polio. The work was daunting. Polio was a cunning adversary, capable of evading the body's defenses and inflicting lasting damage. The team knew that developing a vaccine would require not only understanding the virus, but outsmarting it. They would need to find a way to teach the human body to recognize and defeat polio without actually causing the disease. Salk immersed himself in the challenge, his mind alight with ideas and theories. He spent long hours in the lab, often working late into the night, driven by a relentless determination. His colleagues were inspired by his passion and dedication, and together they pushed the boundaries of what was known about polio and vaccines. The team faced many obstacles. There were technical hurdles as they experimented with different methods of growing the virus and testing the vaccine's efficacy. There were also moments of doubt and frustration as promising leads turned into dead ends. But Salk's optimism never wavered. He believed in the power of science to overcome even the most formidable challenges, and his confidence was infectious, bolstering the spirits of his team. As they delved deeper into their research, Salk and his colleagues made critical breakthroughs. They discovered that the polio virus could be grown in a lab outside of the human body, which opened up new avenues for vaccine development. They also found that the virus could be killed or inactivated, so that it could no longer cause disease, but still trigger the immune system to produce protection against polio. These discoveries were monumental, the first glimmers of hope in the long battle against polio. Yet they were just the beginning. The vaccine needed to be tested, first on animals and then on humans, to ensure its safety and effectiveness. Each step was fraught with risk and uncertainty, but Salk and his team pressed forward, driven by the knowledge that their work could change the course of history. The journey was not easy. There were moments of triumph and moments of despair, as the team navigated the complex process of vaccine development. But through it all, Salk remained a beacon of hope. His vision of a world free from polio was a constant source of inspiration, a dream that fueled the team's perseverance. As they worked, the world outside the laboratory walls watched and waited. Families who had been touched by polio, doctors who had seen its devastating effects, and communities that lived in fear of the next outbreak, all looked to Salk and his team with a mixture of hope and desperation. The stakes could not have been higher, and the pressure to succeed was immense. Yet, in the face of all the challenges, the team's dedication never faltered. They were pioneers on a frontier of medicine, charting unknown territories in the quest to defeat polio. Each experiment, each test, brought them closer to their goal, and with each success, the dream of a polio-free world became more tangible. The story of Janas Salk and the team of researchers at the University of Pittsburgh is a testament to the power of collaboration, determination, and scientific inquiry. It is a reminder that even the most daunting challenges can be overcome when people come together with a common purpose. In their quest to develop a polio vaccine, they not only sought to save lives, but to change the course of human history. And in the end, their work would indeed light the path to a brighter, healthier future for all. Chapter 4. Trials and Errors. In the heart of their quest to conquer polio, Janas Salk and his team faced a relentless series of challenges that tested their resolve and ingenuity. The journey of scientific discovery is paved not only with moments of triumph, but also with trials and errors, each failure a stepping stone towards the ultimate goal. The laboratory in Pittsburgh became a crucible of innovation, where Salk and his colleagues experimented with various approaches to creating a safe and effective polio vaccine. They knew the task ahead was monumental. The polio virus was a formidable enemy, cunning in its ability to invade the human body and leave destruction in its wake. To defeat it, they needed to understand it fully, to unlock the secrets of its structure and behavior. One of the first challenges they encountered was growing the virus in sufficient quantities for research and testing. The virus needed a host to multiply, and finding the right environment in the lab was a daunting task. After numerous attempts and adjustments, the team discovered that they could cultivate the polio virus in cultured monkey kidney cells. This breakthrough was crucial, allowing them to produce enough virus material to proceed with their vaccine development efforts. However, growing the virus was just the beginning. The next hurdle was to inactivate the virus without diminishing its ability to trigger an immune response in the body. Salk proposed using formaldehyde, a chemical known to kill viruses, but it was a delicate balance. Too little formaldehyde and the virus could remain active, posing a danger to those vaccinated. Too much, and the virus would be too weakened to elicit the necessary immune response. The team embarked on a series of experiments, carefully measuring and testing different concentrations of formaldehyde. Each trial was a meticulous process, requiring precision and patience. There were moments of frustration, as promising formulations failed to yield the desired results. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, as the team tirelessly worked to find the optimal formula. Despite these challenges, Salk remained undeterred. His leadership and determination inspired his team to push forward, even when the obstacles seemed insurmountable. He believed that every failure brought them closer to success, that each experiment, no matter the outcome, was a valuable lesson learned. As they refined their approach, another difficulty emerged. Testing the vaccine's efficacy and safety was a complex and ethically charged process. Initial trials in monkeys showed promising results, but moving on to human trials presented a whole new set of challenges. The team had to navigate stringent regulatory requirements, ethical considerations, and public skepticism. The decision to proceed with human trials was not taken lightly. Salk and his team were acutely aware of the responsibility they bore. They began with a small group of volunteers, including Salk himself, his family, and his colleagues. This act of self-experimentation was a testament to their confidence in the vaccine and their commitment to the cause. However, it also highlighted the risks involved. The world was watching, and the stakes were incredibly high. Each phase of the trials brought new challenges. The team had to ensure that the vaccine was not only effective in preventing polio, but also safe for widespread use. They meticulously monitored the volunteers for any adverse reactions, analyzing data and adjusting their approach as needed. The process was exhaustive and exhausting, but Salk and his team were driven by a sense of purpose that transcended the difficulties they faced. The trials and errors that marked this phase of the vaccine development were a stark reminder of the complexity of scientific research. Progress was often slow, and setbacks were frequent. Yet, through each disappointment, the team's resilience shone brightly. They were united by a shared vision of a world free from the fear of polio, and this vision fueled their perseverance. Salk's approach to the challenges was characterized by a blend of scientific rigor and compassionate determination. He understood that the path to discovery was fraught with uncertainty, but he also knew that the potential benefits of a successful polio vaccine were immeasurable. With each setback, he rallied his team, encouraging them to view each failure as a lesson that would bring them closer to their goal. As they worked towards the development of the polio vaccine, Janas Salk and his team embodied the spirit of resilience and innovation. Their journey was a testament to the power of human ingenuity and persistence in the face of adversity. The trials and errors they experienced were not merely obstacles, but essential steps on the path to one of the greatest medical breakthroughs of the 20th century. In the end, the persistence of Salk and his team paid off. The successful development of the polio vaccine was a monumental achievement, the culmination of years of hard work, dedication, and an unwavering belief in the possibility of a better future. Their story is a powerful reminder of the resilience required in scientific research and the profound impact that perseverance can have on the world. Chapter 5. A Glimmer of Hope. Relentless pursuit of a weapon against polio, the atmosphere within Janas Salk's laboratory was charged with anticipation and the weight of collective aspiration. The team, having navigated through a sea of challenges, stood on the precipice of what could be a monumental breakthrough in medical science. It was in this crucible of innovation and persistence that a glimmer of hope began to shine through the uncertainty. The days were long and the work was exhaustive, but the team's spirit was buoyed by the potential of their latest discovery. They had developed a method that showed promise in creating a safe and effective polio vaccine. This was the moment they had been working towards, the chance to turn the tide in the battle against a disease that had brought so much suffering to the world. Salk and his team had been experimenting with various techniques to inactivate the polio virus, making it harmless while still capable of triggering the body's immune response. The breakthrough came when they found the right balance, a formulation that could potentially stop polio in its tracks without causing the disease itself. This was a delicate dance, requiring precision and careful calibration, but they had done it. They had found a way to teach the human body to defend itself against polio. The excitement in the laboratory was palpable. Researchers, technicians, and support staff shared in the sense of accomplishment and the hope that their hard work was about to pay off. But beyond the immediate thrill of discovery, there was a deeper, more profound sense of purpose. They were not just on the cusp of a scientific breakthrough. They were paving the way for a future free from the fear of polio. Salk, ever the visionary leader, tempered the team's excitement with a reminder of the road ahead. The promising results from their experiments needed to be validated through rigorous testing. They had found a method that might lead to a successful vaccine, but it was crucial to prove its safety and efficacy beyond any doubt. This was a critical juncture, and the work that lay ahead was as daunting as it was vital. The next phase involved planning and executing a series of trials that would test the vaccine on a larger scale. This was a massive undertaking, requiring meticulous preparation and an unwavering commitment to ethical standards. The team worked tirelessly, designing study protocols, obtaining the necessary approvals, and coordinating with medical facilities across the country. As they embarked on this new chapter, the weight of expectation was heavy. The world was watching, hoping against hope that this vaccine would be the answer to their prayers. Families affected by polio, healthcare professionals, and public health officials all awaited the results with bated breath. The pressure to succeed was immense, but Salk and his team were driven by a mission that transcended personal achievement. They were fighting for a cause greater than themselves. The initial trials were conducted with cautious optimism. Volunteers, including adults and children, were administered the vaccine under close supervision. Each day brought new data, each participant's response a piece of the puzzle that Salk and his team were diligently assembling. With every successful immunization, their confidence grew, but they remained vigilant, acutely aware of the responsibility they bore. As the trials progressed, the evidence began to mount in favor of the vaccine's effectiveness. Reports of adverse reactions were minimal, and the immune response in vaccinated individuals was promising. This was the moment of truth, the validation of years of hard work and the countless setbacks they had overcome. The breakthrough in developing a potential polio vaccine was more than a scientific achievement. It was a beacon of hope for millions around the globe. It represented the possibility of a world where children could play without fear, where parents could dream of a future for their offspring free from the shadow of polio. For Janas Salk, the journey from a dream to a glimmer of hope was a testament to the power of perseverance, innovation, and collective endeavor. He had led his team through the valleys of doubt and the peaks of discovery, always with an unwavering belief in the possibility of a better tomorrow. The potential success of the polio vaccine was not just a victory for science, it was a triumph of the human spirit, a reminder that even the most formidable challenges can be overcome with dedication and unity. Chapter 6. Against the Odds. As Janas Salk and his team edged closer to finalizing a polio vaccine, a new challenge loomed on the horizon, one that tested not just their scientific prowess, but their resolve against the currents of doubt and skepticism. This chapter of their journey underscores the dramatic struggle of an underdog against the prevailing winds of skepticism from parts of the scientific community. In the wake of their breakthrough, as news of their potential vaccine began to ripple through the corridors of research institutions and among the public, not all the feedback was of admiration and support. Within the scientific community, a realm built on rigorous proof and cautious skepticism, some voiced concerns and doubts about Salk's approach. Critics questioned the feasibility of a killed virus vaccine, arguing that it might not provide effective immunity. Others pointed to the daunting logistical challenge of mass-producing and distributing such a vaccine safely. There were also fears about the potential risks involved in administering a new vaccine to millions of children. The debates were intense, taking place in academic journals, conference halls, and even in the media. Salk found himself at the center of this storm, his work scrutinized by peers and the public alike. The skepticism was a heavy burden, adding to the immense pressure he already faced. Yet, It was a challenge he accepted as part of the scientific process. Doubt, he believed, was not an enemy, but a catalyst for rigor and precision. Despite the skepticism, Salk remained undeterred. His confidence in the vaccine's safety and efficacy was rooted in data, in the countless hours of research and testing his team had conducted. He understood the concerns of his critics, but also knew that the potential benefits of the vaccine far outweighed the risks. Polio was a devastating disease, and if his vaccine could prevent it, the reward would be immeasurable. Salk's determination to proceed was bolstered by the support of his team, his family, and the many who believed in his mission. They worked diligently to address the concerns raised by the scientific community, conducting additional studies and refining their protocols. They were committed to transparency, sharing their findings and methods openly to withstand the scrutiny they were under. The drama of this period was palpable, as Salk navigated the dual challenges of advancing his vaccine towards public use, while also winning over his skeptics. It was a delicate balancing act, requiring not just scientific acumen, but also a deep sense of purpose and conviction. Amidst the debates and discussions, Salk and his team pressed on with their mission. They initiated larger trials, gathering more data to demonstrate the vaccine's safety and effectiveness. With each successful trial, the tide of skepticism began to turn. The results were compelling, showing significant immunity in vaccinated children without the feared adverse effects. As the evidence mounted, the scientific community began to rally around Salk's vaccine. The skepticism that had once seemed like an insurmountable barrier became a footnote in the story of one of the most significant medical breakthroughs of the 20th century. The journey to the polio vaccine was a testament to resilience in the face of doubt. Salk's underdog status, far from being a hindrance, became a symbol of his determination and belief in the cause. He had faced skepticism and emerged not just with a successful vaccine, but with a renewed faith in the power of science to change the world for the better. This chapter of Janas Salk's story is a reminder that progress often comes against the odds, that breakthroughs are born not just from brilliance, but from the courage to pursue a vision despite the chorus of doubts. It is a lesson in the value of perseverance, the importance of questioning, and the transformative power of science when guided by a commitment to humanity. As Salk's vaccine moved closer to becoming a reality, the world watched in anticipation, ready to embrace a future free from the fear of polio. The underdog had prevailed, not by silencing his critics, but by proving that hope, grounded in hard work and scientific rigor, can lead to miracles. Chapter 7. The First Test. In the unfolding saga of Janas Salk and his quest to develop a polio vaccine, Chapter 7 marks a pivotal moment filled with tension, hope, and the weight of responsibility. As the team prepared for the first vaccine trial, the air was thick with anticipation, each step forward underscored by the profound risks and ethical considerations at play. The decision to move forward with human trials was not made lightly. It was a leap into the unknown, a step filled with potential peril, but also the promise of saving countless lives. Salk and his team had worked tirelessly, refining the vaccine to its current state, but the true test of its efficacy and safety was yet to come. The initial trials would be conducted on a small group of volunteers, a brave cohort willing to stand on the front line of medical science. The ethical implications of this step were immense. Salk and his colleagues grappled with the responsibility of ensuring the utmost safety for the participants, knowing well that the world's eyes were upon them. They meticulously reviewed the trial protocols, ensuring that every precaution was taken, that consent was fully informed, and that the potential benefits outweighed the risks. As preparations for the trial progressed, the tension among the team was palpable. There was a sense of standing at the edge of history, of being moments away from a discovery that could change the world. Yet there was also the weight of uncertainty, the question of what would happen if things did not go as planned. The risks were not just to the health of the volunteers but to the future of the vaccine itself. A failure in these initial trials could set back the fight against polio by years, if not decades. Salk, at the center of this maelstrom of hope and concern, remained a pillar of calm determination. He believed in the science behind the vaccine, in the rigorous testing it had undergone, and in the ethical standards that guided their work. His confidence was a beacon for his team, a reminder of the importance of their work and the thoroughness of their preparations. The day of the first trial arrived, a day that would be etched in the annals of medical history. The volunteers, aware of the risks and the significance of their participation, showed a remarkable bravery. Their trust in Salk and his team was a testament to the human capacity for courage and altruism. As the vaccine was administered, the world seemed to hold its breath. The tension was not just in the laboratory or the room where the volunteers received their shots, but in the hearts of all who had been touched by polio, who had waited for this moment with a mix of fear and hope. In the days and weeks that followed, the team monitored the volunteers closely, watching for any signs of adverse reactions and gauging the vaccine's efficacy. Each day, without a negative outcome, was a small victory, a step closer to the dream of a polio-free world. The first trial, though just the beginning, was a monumental achievement. It demonstrated not just the potential of the vaccine, but the strength of the human spirit, the willingness to face the unknown for the sake of others. The volunteers who participated in this trial were heroes in their own right, their contribution immeasurable. For Salk and his team, the successful completion of the first trial was both a relief and a validation of their work. It was a moment of triumph, tempered by the knowledge that there was still a long road ahead. The vaccine needed to undergo further trials, to be tested on a larger scale, and to prove its efficacy beyond doubt. This chapter in the story of the polio vaccine is a reminder of the complexities and challenges of medical research. It highlights the tension between risk and reward, the ethical considerations that guide scientific inquiry, and the courage required to venture into the unknown. It is a testament to the dedication of Salk and his team, to their commitment to science, and to their unwavering focus on the greater good. Chapter 8. Waiting for Results. In the heart of a bustling laboratory, amidst the quiet hum of machinery and the soft flicker of fluorescent lights, stood Janas Salk and his dedicated team, suspended in a moment of anticipation that felt like an eternity. Chapter 8. Waiting for Results captures the palpable tension and the emotional whirlwind that engulfed them as they awaited the outcomes of the initial polio vaccine trials. This was a period marked not by the meticulous activities of scientific research, but by the profound emotional toll of waiting, hoping, and fearing all at once. The days following the administration of the vaccine to the first group of volunteers were filled with a silence that was almost deafening. Each team member carried the weight of expectation, the hope of millions resting on their shoulders. The laboratory, which had been a site of fervent activity, now became a space of watchful waiting. Salk, ever the stoic figure, felt the enormity of the moment. His dream of creating a polio vaccine, a dream that had propelled him through years of relentless work, was on the cusp of becoming reality, or facing a setback that could undermine everything they had worked towards. The emotional toll was not just borne by Salk and his team, but also by the volunteers who had bravely stepped forward to receive the vaccine and their families. They, too, were part of this monumental effort. their courage and trust embodying the collective hope for a future free from the fear of polio. Every day that passed without incident, every report of a volunteer remaining healthy and strong, was a small victory, a whisper of promise that perhaps, just perhaps, the vaccine was working. But with hope came fear, the fear of failure, of unforeseen complications, of the possibility that the vaccine might not work as they had hoped. This fear was a constant companion, lurking in the shadows of their optimism. The team grappled with the weight of their endeavor, knowing that the results of these trials could alter the course of medical history. The pressure to succeed was immense, not just for the sake of their careers, but for the countless lives that hung in the balance. Salk, in these moments of waiting, found himself reflecting on the journey that had brought him to this point. He thought of the children he had seen in iron lungs, the families torn apart by polio, and the desperate need for a solution. These images fueled his resolve, reminding him of the importance of their work. Yet they also underscored the potential consequences of failure, adding layers of complexity to the emotional landscape he navigated. As the team waited for the results, they continued their work, reviewing data, planning for the next phases of trials, and preparing for every possible outcome. The atmosphere of anticipation was punctuated by moments of mundane normality. The clinking of test tubes, the beep of timers, the routine checks on equipment. These sounds, so characteristic of their daily lives, now took on a new significance, grounding them in the present even as their thoughts lingered on the future. Then, the moment they had been waiting for arrived. The initial results were in, offering the first glimpse into the efficacy of the vaccine. It was a moment of pure, unadulterated emotion, relief, joy, and validation of their efforts. The vaccine showed promise, a significant step forward in the battle against polio. This news, though preliminary, was a beacon of hope, illuminating the path forward. Yet even in this moment of triumph, Salk and his team knew that their journey was far from over. The initial success was just the beginning, a foundation upon which they would build their continued efforts. They were acutely aware of the challenges that lay ahead, the need for further testing, and the ongoing battle to gain public trust and support. Waiting for results is not just a chapter about the anxiety of anticipation. It's a profound exploration of the emotional landscape of scientific research. It captures the highs and lows, the hope and fear, and the profound sense of responsibility that comes with the quest to conquer disease. For Janas Salk and his team, this period of waiting was a test of their resolve, a trial that went beyond the scientific to touch the very core of their humanity. As the chapter closes, we are left with a deeper understanding of the emotional complexity of Salk's journey. It is a reminder of the human element in scientific discovery, the personal sacrifices, and the emotional investment that drives pioneers like Salk to pursue their vision against all odds for the betterment of humanity.